Hey loves, welcome back to my channel.
You know me, yeah, I be slaying everybody nails. If you wanna get right, book with me. Don't be scared, I can do the short French or the long bling.
If you're new here, my name is Atiana. I'm an 18-year-old that makes videos and does nails. If you guys don't already know by the title of this video, these are things that you should know before you move out. Tips, tricks. If you have not liked or subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so you guys can see more videos. That's enough for the intro. Let's get started. Grab your popcorn and a soda, Takis, hot Cheetos, whatever you want, and make sure you grab that iPad, that computer, or even a notebook. Make sure you're writing down these notes. So let me go ahead and tell you guys my story real quick. I moved out when I was 18 years old. I did not really have a plan on what exactly I was gonna do. And I also did not have the money for it. Hush. One thing that you want to keep in mind is that they're going to ask you for 3 to 2 times the rent, at least if you're here in Texas, Houston, wherever it is. And moving out at a young age, they also think that you really don't know nothing. And they're going to kind of try to act like you're dumb and try to like manipulate you to sign all these other papers and things like that. So just make sure you do your research real good before you apply anywhere. Make sure that it's in an area that you like as well. And a lot of people say that you want to have at least 10,000 saved up, 15,000 saved up. And I know that a lot of young teenagers, we come from toxic households, things like that. Whatever the case may be, if you just want to move out, just to move out, then you can do that too. When it comes to the money situation, I would get one of your checks from literally, say that you work 2 weeks, get that check. That's $1,500 because they're going to ask you for down payments. They might do a credit check, and I know that at 18 a lot of people probably don't have credit, so that's even better. If you do have credit at 18, make sure it's at least above 600. You should be good. Whenever you guys go up to the leasing office, make sure that you're very specific on the unit you want. 2-bedroom, if you wanted a studio, if you want to be on the first floor, make sure you're very specific to them, because they will kind of just throw anything at you and be like, well, here's your keys and there you go. Moving into an apartment is not just a small thing either. Make sure that you're mentally ready for paying the bills every month. I know it seems like you have 30 days, but the time goes by pretty quick. Make sure that you have a stable job. If you have a business like a LLC, or if you're going to college and you're getting like money from your parents or anything like that, you want to make sure that you find an apartment that's around your budget. For example, if you make about $2,000 a month, you don't want an apartment that's $1,500. You want to make sure that you look more for an apartment that's $900 to $1,200 at least, so you can have that other money for your light bill, water, anything like that. Also groceries and essentials, cute decor. You also don't want to move super quick. Make sure that you take your time and really think about what you're doing. Maybe you might need to stay with your parents a little bit more to save up that money. You don't just want to go out there and do it. Whether you're moving in with a friend, by yourself, there is a lot of pros to being in your own apartment, like freedom to do whatever you want, decorating your house to however you want it to look, going out, coming home late without anybody telling you, you're late, it's 2 a.m., what are you doing? But some of the consequences are evictions. You want to make sure that even if you're with your boyfriend, your homegirl, your best friend, or whoever it is that you're moving with, that you yourself can provide for your half of the rent, or your third of the rent, however much you guys separate it, or even if it's just you by yourself, you want to make sure that you have that money. Late fees and stuff, that can all affect for whenever you try to apply to a future apartment later. When you have an eviction, I think you can apply for like literally a long time, and eviction does stay on your record. You also want to remember that it's not just your monthly rent. There's also TXU bill, which is the light, electricity. Then you have your Wi-Fi, whether you want to use AT&T or anything like that. Some apartments do provide the internet with them, and some apartments, they require you to get your own Wi-Fi separate. Water should come with your bill. If you take a lot of showers, then that bill can go up to $100. If you're more like you take a shower every other day, you keep your showers quick, you don't use too much hot water, you don't wash your clothes every freaking day, then you should be good with your water. It is not just the $1,000 that you pay that month, the $1,500. There's also at least an extra $100 to $150, depending on water and everything like that. Keep that in mind. There is also a lot of apartments that will ask you for 2 to 3 times the rent. And I know in a lot of cases, you know, your job isn't paying you like $4,000 a month or $5,000 a month. So if you need to co-sign with your parent or just somebody else to make sure that you guys both make the rent, then that's also another thing to think about. And there is also a lot of people who cannot prove their income, and they make fake bank statements, fake pay stubs and things like that, offer letters. And that's also one thing that you want to be careful with, because that is fraudulent activity. You want to make sure that if you are going to be using your bank statements and you do make the monthly income, you basically set aside, like get the money in cash and then deposit it into your bank account, and it will basically prove to them that you do have that money. Offer letter, for example, if you haven't started a job or if you're new to the job and you don't have your 3 pay stubs or your 4 pay stubs, however many they ask for, your job can actually write a letter verifying that you will be making 3 times the rent. And the way that this world is messed up, they want us to prove in so many ways that we make this money and this and that. But please do not move into an apartment if you do not have the money for it, because like I said, the eviction and stuff, that is not a joke. You want to make sure that you at least co-sign with somebody if that's the case, just to make the whole process easier. Now, besides all of that, there also is a bunch of other fees besides the bills and the TXU that you need to be prepared for when moving in. So let's talk about the expenses. First, there's movers. If you don't have any family members or, you know, parents that can help you move your things, movers can range from $100 to $300. When you get an apartment, of course, you're gonna want to decorate your house. Do not go crazy spending $500 on moving, because you can always decorate later. You know, however long your lease is, no matter what, you can still add cute little designs. And plus, on Shein, Temu, there's a lot of cute things for your house. Then there is also pet fees, cable fee if any. If you do have a pet, you have to pay like an additional, it can be from $200 to $450. There's just a lot of things like that that you just have to be prepared for. Depending on your apartment, they also might ask you for a whole month's worth of rent for moving in. It really has nothing to do with your credit. It's also if you don't have any type of rental history as well. You want to make sure that you have basically at least $3,000, because not a lot of people at 18 or, you know, at whatever age do not just have $10,000 sitting around to just move into an apartment. For most apartments, there is also an application fee that can range from $50 to $100, just because they want to make sure that you're not wasting their time and that you're actually being serious about applying. They want to make sure they have that fee so they can secure that apartment that you want, the unit, everything like that. A little drink break. And like I said, depending on your apartment, you may also have to pay monthly rent for your vehicle. If you want it to be in a garage or whatever like that, that is also another expense to keep in mind. So those are just some of the expenses. That's not even everything. There's furniture, utilities, toilet paper, paper towels, a rug, a carpet, little cute pictures to put up on your wall. I hope that you guys are not getting scared. I literally just want you guys to know that it's more than just, oh yeah, $1,000 a month, I'll be fine. There's a lot of other things, especially us as women and girls. You know, if you guys are young, wanting to move out, then period queen. There's a lot of things to this. This is very stressful, and especially the whole applying process. Some apartment complexes can be very rude and disrespectful up there at the front office. They're having a bad day, whatever the case may be. And you're not always going to get the experience that you're looking for. Just be prepared for that. And do not get encouraged by the people that you see on Instagram or Snapchat, and they're like 18, 17, living in this big luxury apartment and stuff like that. It is okay to take your time. You do not have to move out at 18, at 17, whatever the age is. Literally just take your time. Your day will come to shine. God is gonna bless you. And yeah, also whenever you do apply to an apartment, it is gonna show you when they have that unit available for you to move in. So make sure you keep that in mind. If you're applying in December and you want to move in by January, then make sure that you're applying for the one that says it's available January 8th or 10th. And that really just depends on the apartment complex as well. There is some apartment complexes that the apartment is ready that same exact day. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. And also, before you apply, make sure you schedule a tour. When you go on your tour, you have every right to take pictures, videos of the place, just to make sure that it really like fits your vibe. For example, some apartments are gonna have carpet floor, some are gonna have wood floor, some might only have carpet in the living room, some might only have carpet in the bedroom. There's a lot of things to also look out for that. You wanna make sure that it's something that's gonna suit you. If you personally just don't like cold floors, then carpet is the way to go. And if you just like the way that wood looks, you can always put rugs around the floor, then that's another thing. When you're touring the apartment, that is the time to ask all type of questions. Do not be afraid to ask, like, do you have roaches? Do y'all have rats? That's one of the things that some apartment complexes, they won't tell you. That before it comes in for you to move in, make sure you tour that same apartment. Make sure you also read the online reviews. Everybody does have their different opinions about the apartment complex. Some people may just not like how the people are at the front and leave a bad review. Horrible environment, this and that. That's why it's very important for you to go tour it and check it yourself. And you know, the vibes will just be there. If that's for you, then it's for you. And like I said earlier in the video, do not try to get something super huge, especially if it's just you. There's studios that are cute and there's 1 bedrooms. The square feet also does matter. There is, like, for example, 400 square feet, 550 square feet. So basically that just means how big the apartment would be, and it will go up in price the bigger. If it's just 1 person and you're just looking for like a place to go, you can always get a studio. A studio does not have an actual bedroom with a door that closes, so you would kind of have to like put curtains or just make it really cute. A 1 bedroom obviously has a bedroom, a bathroom, everything like that. Some studios don't have washer and dryer, but I know for a fact that studios have a kitchen and a restroom. Any apartment that you look for is going to have a kitchen and a restroom, period. Of course, the bigger that you go, the 2 bedrooms that might have 2 bathrooms or just 1. Whenever you do move out, the location doesn't always matter, but you want to be in an environment and an area where you feel safe. When you go on your tour, you can also clearly see if they have cameras outside. I personally used to live in Webb Chapel, which is a little ghetto, you know what I'm saying? Like the Harry Hines area, it's a little ghetto. So I wanted to upgrade that, and now I live over here in Plano/Carrollton. I am moving soon, so stay tuned for that video. Whenever you go on your tour, you also want to make sure that they have a balcony. If they don't have a balcony, then that's fine. You can always just walk outside and just like feel fresh air. Balcony and all of that stuff is optional. A fireplace. Some apartments may offer a fireplace, but not every single one will. Another thing that you should not be afraid to do is tour as many apartments that you can and that you want to. That first apartment may not always hit how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? That does not mean that you do not have any other options. That is not the only apartment there for you. There is so many apartment complexes in whatever state you live in. There's gonna be a lot of options, and once the perfect one suits you and it has a gym how you want it, they have a good looking pool, you know, that's the apartment that you want. You want one that you love and everything like that. Do not be scared to tour however many you want. Like I said, take photos, videos, everything like that. You are obligated to do that because that is a space that you want to live into and you want to know what you're going into, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of us young women who want to move in with our man's boyfriends, whatever you want to call it. We do not recommend anybody to move in with their bestie or their friend that you've only known for a short period of time, just because you never know what could happen. You literally never know. It could be a fight that happens, or just like the worst thing could literally happen with boyfriends and stuff like that. They can leave you at any time, leaving you to struggle with the other half of the rent, anything like that. So do not rely on anybody else. Rely on yourself. And if you're sharing an apartment with somebody and the rent is $1,200, y'all split that in half, it's $600 each. Make sure you have $1,200 because like I said, you never know what could happen. And at the end of the day, both of y'all's name is on that lease, so it will mess up both of y'all's credit and all types of stuff like that. So a quick tip, a quick little, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that you are 100% ready for the independence. Really important thing. You want to make sure that you're 1,000% ready for the whole financial, all of this. You want to make sure that you're 100% ready. You do not want to a year later, 6 months later, whatever, then move back in with your family. I know a few people who have done this and they feel some type of like regret, or that they failed themselves, or like they just cannot keep doing it and the bills are just piling up on each other. If that's the way that you feel, then honestly, that just means that like you're not really mature to actually be on your own. If you're relying on your parents to wake you up in the morning, to feed you breakfast, you know, just relying on your parents for anything, then I feel like you just should have never moved out, or you should not want to move out. You know what I'm saying? This is also a video for like the younger audience too, because I know that we come from different households and everything like that. But just make sure that you're 1000% ready, because an apartment is not just about, oh, I have my own apartment, girl. Like, I love it. I get to do whatever I want. It's also so draining at some times when those bills pile up. Like, they be piling up, you know what I'm saying? So just make sure that you're 1000% ready. There's nothing wrong with staying with your parents. It's not something to be ashamed of. But don't move out and then expect to go back. And you know what I'm saying? Once you grow into the independence and once you're so used to being on your own, going back to your parents, you obviously will have to talk to them about like, okay, well, I want to go out, and is it okay for me to come back at 3? It's just a lot of other boundaries and everything like that. And once again, a disclaimer, these are just my personal thoughts. This does not mean that you have to feel this way. And this is just basically my whole full experience on how it was whenever I moved out. It's not an easy walk in and you get it just, you know what I'm saying, get it. It's definitely a process and it takes time. So keep praying. You will get that apartment, girl. And I know you're probably watching this because you probably applied to some apartments or you're thinking about applying. So think about it really, really good. Do your research, do everything like that. Search up like all types of things. Watch TikTok videos on girls moving into their first apartment or people moving into their first apartment. That's what I do. I like to binge watch other people moving into an apartment. It is definitely such an accomplishment, and it feels good to have your own free will in your house. You also want to make sure that you're a person who is okay with being alone. Of course, you can bring family and friends over and things like that, but it will be a little quiet. You'll hear your echo, whatever. I have kind of always been to myself. I do talk a lot and I love interacting with people and things like that. But I know that whenever I just need my space and my time, I can just relax in the living room, do whatever I want. So just make sure that you don't feel like you need somebody else in there, because remember, Jesus Christ is always going to be with you no matter where you go. And just a little talk about where I kind of came from. I was living with my mom, my grandma, my uncle, and my papa, and my dog, Lucas. Well, he's not my dog, but you know what I'm saying? Lucas boy, you better act good, okay? I never really had my own room or privacy growing up. I did share rooms with my mom for the longest, and my only dream was really to have my own space, elevate my business and things like that. If you guys don't know, I am self-employed and I am a nail tech. So I've always wanted to have my own space. I always wanted that feeling like just looking at myself in the mirror, or having those times where I just need to cry without people looking at me, or, you know, asking me questions and things like that. I've always wanted privacy. Now that I do have my privacy and stuff, it feels so much better. And of course, I still go and visit my parents and stuff like that. But one of the biggest reasons why I had moved out in the first place was due to privacy. Back to the whole shopping for furniture, utilities, etc. You want to shop as you go. Do not, the first day you move in, go to IKEA, Mattress Home, Furniture Mart, or whatever it's called. You do not want to go there and spend $3,000 or pay things in payments all at once. You want to take your time. You want to get the things that you need the most. What you will need the most is obviously a bed to rest. You can use an air mattress. Whatever you got to do, you got to do. Also, definitely want to check to make sure your apartment complex, if they don't come with if they don't come with a microwave, you want to make sure that you also have that. Toilet paper, tissues, but please shop as you go. You might not need that big couch that you're really, really wanting. You can always get that later, 2 months into your lease, just to make sure that you have the money for it and everything like that. And I know decorating is probably like the most satisfying part, but you are also going to be overwhelmed with all the boxes and all the things that you're taking. You have to also organize what you already have, from if you're staying at your parents or if you're moving into another apartment. You also want to get that all situated. The designs and the decor can definitely wait. There is a lot of online websites like Shein, Temu, AliExpress, where you can buy your furniture. You can go on Facebook Market, Craigslist, OfferUp, anything like that, where you can find things for cheap. I feel like, to me, the bed is literally the most important thing. I mean, that's where you're literally gonna be sleeping, and that's where you're gonna be feeling comfortable at night and things like that. So make sure you have a bed, a blanket, and a pillow. Now we are coming close to the end of the video and stuff like that. So if you're still here, make sure to hit that like button and you subscribe. Once you go through the whole application, they verify your income, bank statements, whatever they needed to verify. It will be time for you to sign your lease. You basically are signing your life away for 3 to 24 months. I'm not saying that you cannot break a lease, but you do not want to break a lease. There is going to be fees applied. Who knows how much the fee can be? I personally have never broken a lease, but I know that it can be from $500 to like $1,000, maybe even $2,000. You also want to be aware of, when you're in your apartment, any damage that's done, like paint being scratched off the walls, holes, they will charge you for all the little things. So whenever you sign that lease, make sure you read all the details. It's going to tell you how much it would be if you decide to break a lease. For example, breaking a lease is if your lease is 12 months and you literally just want to leave the 6th month because you're like, okay, I don't like it, it's getting too hectic, whatever, let me leave. That is breaking a lease. When you sign that lease, you are basically saying that you will be there for those 12 months without any problems and things like that. So make sure you really read that before you even decide. Just make sure you really think about it. That's all that I really can say. You also do want to look at the late fees. For example, if your rent is due on the 1st, most apartment complexes give you 2 days after to pay it. So they'll give you the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd. And if you don't pay it at the 3rd, then it's a $50 fee. It could be a $100 fee. They might even go up to your door and be like, hey, here's the notice, whatever. That's also one thing that you want to look into, because that can also be stressful. Just make sure that you have all the money that you need to move out. And that basically wraps it up for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you guys are ready. And I hope that you guys know that you got this and you will get approved to that apartment. Just really think about it, doing your research and everything like that. If you guys have any questions, make sure to comment them down below. I'll be sure to reply. And that's basically it for today's video. Hit that like and subscribe to my channel. Atiana is out. Bye.